What should I talk about? I don't want to. Talking about Ninja Turtles is boring. Talking about Bop It is boring. Talking about any kids' cartoon is boring. I don't watch kids' cartoons. I don't. Don't. How many times do I have to say that? I don't watch kids' cartoons. I don't. I don't. Let me get this straight. People say that Bop It is for kids, when the packaging that Hasbro gives us literally says for ages 8+. Now, why? Why do people say that? Just, why? Because they're machines, They are, they can be broken by smaller kids that are younger than 8. 8 and under cannot play them. Well, under 8 years old, sure, I guess, but let's just say it's recommended for people 8 and up to play Bop It. Let's just say that. They have age restrictions on they have age restrictions on the box. I've actually heard someone say something about a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy, a knockoff from it was like a one Garkin or something like that. It's a Cerebral. And someone recognized it as a Krang figure, which stood about 10 inches tall. And that large fucking collection. But anyway, that was for 15-year-olds. And it was not a toy. Now, Bop It is considered a toy, but why would you want to call it a toy? Number one, Bop It is in the toy section of pretty much any store. If you go to Walmart or Target, well, actually Bop It is not really around anymore at some stores. Some stores in other cities and states probably have them, but the only place you can find them right now is on eBay and Amazon, or any other used site or website that allows you to. Walmart, maybe the website for Walmart and Target have them. I think Toys R Us still has a website that you can get Bop It and stuff from. Even though they may be out of business store-wise, maybe not website-wise. Maybe their website is still open to the public. Their stores may have closed in the U.S., but maybe, just maybe, the website's open to the public. Now, the last time I saw Bop It was probably about a couple months ago. There was one Bop It refresh there. One Bop It refresh. That was the only Bop It. And at Walmart, they had this guy. Oh.
Speech on. Stop recording. Camera chooser. Back facing. Button. Camera chooser. Back facing. Camera chooser. Front facing. Button.
It's a little bit narrow. It's a little bit out of screen. Out of frame. Right there, I think. Oh no, it's back facing. Here. Yeah, look at that. Right here. Right here. If you can see that. Uh-oh. Actually, it was facing. Front facing. Whoops. Oh yeah, it was facing front facing. Wow. It was front facing. I was supposed to have known that.
Camera choose back. But camera chooser. Front facing. Camera chooser. Front face. Camera chooser. Back facing. Speech off.
Well, anyways, if you saw that, sorry about that, but if you saw that, that was the Bop It Micro. That Bop It has actually been on toy shelves, believe it or not, for about 4 years. It stopped being on sale at Walmart, I think. No Bop It, no Simon, no electronic games on store shelves. Well, there's probably going to be a new Bop It next year, I must be assuming. There probably will be. If not, then that'll be enough of Bop It and Simon. So let me just give you a brief description of Simon if you haven't heard of the game. It's basically a memory game where you have to remember a sequence, then a pattern of lights, and it'll add one more color to the sequence. Like, for example, if it would have, if I were to get like 4 signals, and then it would add a signal, that's basically what it is. So it would do one, and then it would add another, and then it would do those 2, and then it would add another one, and then you would do those 3, and then it would add another one, and then you do those 4, and then it would get another one, and so on. You do those 5, and then it'll add another one, and then you'll do number 6, number 7, and 8. It goes on and on and on and on and on. The original Simon, there were different skill levels that you can get. There's like the first one, which was 8 signals. So there would be one color, and then it would add a color to it. It would add another color to it, or another sequence. Like, it would add another sound or color to the sequence. Like, if there was a red and a red, the colors are red, yellow, blue, green on all the Simons. Most of the Simons, throughout 1978 to the present, have been, except for the Simon, 1978, the Super Simon, all the Simons up until the Simon Classic were with pressable buttons. There were some Simons that did not have any buttons to press. The first one with that feature is the 2013 Touch Simon from Basic Fun. Now, Basic Fun has been known to make some electronic games. Most was Simon and Bop It, as far as I know. They made several Bop Its, the Bop It Carabiner and the Bop It XT Carabiner. They made the Simon 2010 Carabiner and the 2014 Carabiner. So they made about 5 electronic games that I know of. The Touch Simon, the 2 Carabiners of Simon, and the 2 Bop It Carabiners. Now, if they made any other electronic games besides those 5, let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. But anyways, the Simons with the touch feature, the feature, where you don't have to press any buttons just to get the sequence right. Just to get the right color right. There are a few. To name a few, there is the Touch Simon, which is like the original, a very updated version of the original. The Simon Swipe, which was released in 2014 or 2014. Then there's the Simon Air, which was released in 2016 or 2016. And then following that was the Simon Optics, released in 2017, which was last year. There are 4 Simons with the feature that you don't have to touch a button. You have to just move your hand over it. Now, Is that all there is of these Simons? Well, no. There are other ones that are probably going to be coming out in the future. I don't know, but there could be. There could be a Simon download, you know? Because they have the Bop It download. Like, you know, if you had a Simon download, it would be a lot like the Bop It download, of course. But it's just an idea. Okay, so this ain't really a real product. I'm just saying, if they had a Simon download, what would happen is, like the Bop It download, except for the, like, you know, the commands and stuff, you would have a sound sequence, like, you know, a different sequence, like maybe classic, or maybe the piano, or maybe like you know, there's an Ice Age game. Ice Says is the game. It's like, there's a free version, and then there's a paid version. I think the paid version is like $1 maybe, but you can get a whole lot of stuff. Like, you can remove ads, you can get the classic sounds. But yeah, if they had a Simon download, then what would happen is you would have like maybe a flash drive, because, you know, I'm pretty sure Hasbro wouldn't make a software again. But they would probably have a flash drive, like, you know, a flash drive in the, like, you know, that comes with the unit, and you would plug a cord into the computer. You would probably plug the flash drive in with the software, and then you could just download sounds and stuff onto it. I bet the only thing you would be able to do is to just download a sequence, or make it go fast or something. Or adjust the speed or something. But Bop It download was a Bop It, like, you know, it came with the software. You had to get it online, though. The Bop It download software was free, and the Bop It was actually not free. You had to get it at your local Toys R Us, I guess, in the United Kingdom. They weren't even sold in the U.S. The Bop It download was not even sold in the United States. How crazy is that? I mean, it's crazy but true. The only Bop It not released in the United States. So basically, it wasn't typically a United States Bop It. It was basically a UK Bop It or something. It was not really supposed to be for the United States. Although people in the US have the Bop It download. Like, you know, you have to order it and have it sent to the United States or whatever. So, yeah. So the software allowed you to create your own, like, you know, excuse me. You would have to record your voice to do the commands, and you would have different sound themes and different sound themes you have to choose from. There's like rock, hard rock, classic, and dance. I think the one that I like is probably the classic, because it's the default. Then you have different voices. There's Party Boy, there's Party Girl, there's Pirate, there's Country Bumpkin. I think it's Pumpkin, I guess. Pumpkin. And then there's a couple other ones. So, yeah. So, anyway, back to Bop It, before I get off topic. Sure, Bop It started out as a game. Oh, wait. I was going to go back to Bop It Micro. So, basically, Bop It Micro was sold in Walmart. I even saw it at Target at one point. I mean, I got this one almost 2 years ago. And I got another one almost 2 years ago. like maybe a week or two later. Then I gave it to someone. It was in the packaging, of course. Oh, I wanted to leave it in the packaging. I just wanted to wait till I So anyway, the Bop It Micro, along with a few other Bop Its, have been sold. Although now they're trying to call it the Classic series of Bop Its. The Bop It Classic series. They're now starting to call it the Bop It Classic series because it's got, well, Bop It, Twist It, and Pull It. Just like the original Bop It, released in 1996. That actually had 3 game modes: Vox Bop, Beat Bop, and Solo Bop. You may be wondering, and I've been wondering this, why did Hasbro want to make a Bop It with 2 passive games and 1 solo game? Well, my theory is because it was from 1996, I guess they were just trying to experiment. Like, I guess Dan Klitschner, the creator of Bop It, decided, well, let's just go along with my plan of, he didn't say but I just said, I just said that. So I'm going to try to use that phrase less often. I believe he said, not believe, but I believe he probably would have wanted to say, or, I guess I could inference, that he said, well, let's just go along with my plan and let's just experiment with 2 passive games. One where there's voice commands being called out and you can pass it to another player, and where there is a beat bop game where those sound effects and make it a little bit harder. I guess that's what they planned up, because I guess they wanted more of a challenge, because Bop It was a game. Bop It is a game. They pretty much stayed with the same colors throughout the years. They'll Bop It, some commands have changed colors. Throughout most of the Bop Its, the commands have been the same. Bop It has always been purple until 2008 when it became white. Then in 2011, it was black. Then in 2014, the Bop It Beats, I don't think I'd call it. I'd probably make it a outsider Bop It, Bop It on the outsider list. So, yeah. Going back to the classics. The Bop It Micro started a line of 5 classic Bop Its, which include the Bop It Micro itself, the original Bop It Micro from 2014. The Bop It R2-D2, which, if you know from Star Wars, that is a droid from the movie. He actually was in the first book, The Phantom Menace of Star Wars. And even C-3PO made an appearance in that book and the movie. So, anyways, sticking with the Star Wars theme, they actually made another one called BB-8, which is another droid. That was made in 2016. Then there are 2 other ones, released in 2017, which were the Bop It Groot and the Bop It Minion. The Bop It Minion, I believe, was released first. then the Bop It Groot. Now let me just explain those two Bop Its. The Bop It Minion, if you don't know Minions, those characters come from the Despicable Me franchise, which began, I believe, in 2009 with Despicable Me, and 2013 with Despicable Me 2, and 2017 with Despicable Me 3. And for the third movie, I guess Hasbro just decided, hey, we're going to create a Bop It that is based off of the movie. Based off of the movie. I guess that is what I'm trying to inference here from the Bop It. So basically, yeah. I should probably not talk about Bop It so much because I'm probably too old for it, but who cares? It says on the packaging of every Bop It, ages 8+. So, get that through your head. 8+. Does it say for ages 8 under? No, it says ages 8+. And what does that mean? Ages 8 and older. So that doesn't mean kids under 8. Although some kids under 8 probably do play Bop It. Now, there's one thing about Bop It that I should probably get out of the way. Bop It didn't originally say your high score. There were 2 Bop Its in the original lineup that did not have anything but a scoring cipher. The original Bop It scored up to 100 points. And with that came a cipher. Very annoying, I assume. But I guess it was a way for kids to learn how to count, you know? Because, you know, you got... I kind of see why they did that. Maybe so that kids can do the scoring, or I don't know. I don't know what happened. Either they didn't have the technology to make it to where you can set the high score. Or you know what? Let me go back even further. Why don't we? Let's just go way back about 1993, about 24, 25 years ago, when Dan Kushner actually brought out a Bop It to the table. You know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, bringing out something to the table, I guess bringing up an idea about Bop It, to put it in simpler terms, he brought out the Channel Bopper. Then he brought out a hammer. Okay. I bet you're gonna be asking, what? A Channel Bopper? I don't know too much about the Channel Bopper, but all I know is that it would be like a channel changer, and where, like, you know, it would be a remote, and you would probably press Bop It or something. But then there's like a hammer, like, you know, a 2D version of Bop It, where it would have, like, I guess it would have had Bop It, Twist It, and Pull It. Well, the original one did. The original one in 1996 actually did have it. So I believe what it was, I believe the hammer would have been, it would have like a Bop It button at the top, like, you know, the handle part of it would have a Bop It, and then one of these sides of the hammer would have a Twist It, and then the other would have a Pull It. That's what I'm assuming from what Dan Kushner thought about. Even though I cannot see, I can assume things, can I? So basically, the fail sound would have been, yo! Homer Simpson's, yo! The idea didn't actually get put out there. So, what I'm wondering is, what happened to that Bop It? Did Dan Kushner throw it away, or did he just keep it because it was one of his things that he tried? I don't know, and I don't want to find out, because it could be tragic. So what Bop It ended up being was this stick with a circle in the middle with a purple button and a knob on the left, which was a yellow Twist It, and a blue knob on the right, which ended up being Poet. So that's basically what Bop It ended up being. If you don't know too much about it, this is for you. New subscribers, basically. Then, I guess Hasbro decided that they wanted to upgrade it, and yes, they did. And then they brought out the Bop It Extreme, which came out in 1998, 2 years after the 1996 release of Bop It. That actually had a few new commands. First, it had the original Bop It, Twist It, and Pull It. Then things get a little harder when you notice that there's excuse me, I think of the Bop It XT. The red wheel and the green zigzag lever. Flick It has always been green, if you don't know. It's always been green. And not only that, the score's been increased to 250. So basically, now we get to talk about the cipher in its entirety. In the original, the cipher did Bop It for 1 point and Twist It for 10. For example, if I were playing the original Bop It and got a score of 26, that would mean I would hear 2 Twist Its and 6 Bop It sounds. So, yeah. Now, if I were to get a total of 196, I would get 1 Pull It, 9 Twist Its, and 6 Bop It sounds. You see how that works? Now, this didn't go on for long, as 2002 came, which was about 4 years later. They brought out the Bop It Extreme 2. Okay, now I'll just put this here. They brought out the Bop It Extreme 2, which, this is it. I got it right here. Same 5 commands: Bop It, Twist It, Pull It, Spin It, and Flick It. Score again was 250. Now this time it was spoken in plain English. Like, it would say score 1, or score 2, or score 3, or whatever. It would say your score in English instead of the cipher. Now, Bop It in the 1990s has gone so well that in 1999 they actually made some clones, which were, well, actually 2 clones. They made Top It, which is like a game where you have a ball, and they would say Top It, Flop It, Flip It. Man, those are kind of weird commands, but anyway. Top It, I believe, is where you would try to get the, the top. You totally get what they're trying to say here. So, basically, Top It is you would try to get the ball into the top cup. Flop It is if you try to get it in one of the side cups, and then Flip It is when you get it into the other cup on the other side. So, it's like, okay, so Top It would be the top one. Flop It, if you would get the ball into one of the side cups, it's kind of tricky. So you would try to catch it in one of the side cups, and then you would flip it to get into the other side cup. So it would be, okay, so like imagine, I guess, sort of a cross or something. I'm not sure how to exactly explain it because I never had that game. The closest thing I could relate it to is the Hypertoss, only that actually has a top cup, and okay, maybe that is how it is. Maybe it is exactly like the Hypertoss released in 2016. I don't know. Yeah, then that's what it is. You would have one, and then they'd all be pointing straight up. One cup lower on one side and one cup lower on the other. I guess that's how it is. But it would be... It had 3 games. Top It Challenge, and Top It Pass It, I think. So yeah, it's a lot like Bop It. Only you don't have any actual action you have to do with your hands. It's basically, I mean, you still have the reaction part of it, but you don't have the, like, you know, the movement of your hands very much. You could try, well, I don't know, you could try something. But anyway, there's another one that they made in 1999, which was called Zing It. It is, okay, I'm pretty sure you've been around long enough to hear about yo-yos. So yeah, imagine a yo-yo but electronic. That's right. It's an actual electronic yo-yo that they made into a game called Zing It. You would bop it to turn it on because it had a bop it button. Just because it has a bop it button doesn't mean that it is a bop it. But I would call it a bop it because, for number one, it is somewhat included in the bop it lineup. And you still got actions to do. And you still got a timer, and you still got to react fast to the commands. So yeah, it's a little bit more to the edge of Bop It. It's a lot similar to Bop It, in the sense that you got the action, you got the reaction part. I mean, all of Hasbro's games that deal with, like, you know, the Bop It clones and stuff, you have to react. So basically, it would have a Bop It button, which is purple, a Zing It, and a Loop It. Zing It and Loop It, they're the same thing as the rope. Like, you know, there's like a string. You hold it down and then pull it back up. Hold it down, pull it back up. Hold it down, put it back up for like a second. And then for Zing It, you would hold it down and put it back up. Like, you know, hold it down and pull it back up immediately. Like, hold it down, pull it back up. Hold it down, pull it back up. Like, I don't exactly have it, but yeah, it would be pretty cool if I had it. But anyway, in 2002, more modern clones. Those include Groove It. Well, Groove It was in 2004, I think. New Jam Guitar was in 2002. That had a few different commands. It's a little bit like Bop It. But it doesn't exactly have voice commands. It's kind of like Beat Bop. It's basically that. Then in 2004, they had the Groove It. You had like different actions like car wash, rock and roll, flow, hip hop, slide, zoom, I think. They had a whole bunch of them. This was practically the only clone of Bop It that had a whole lot of action, probably like about 12 maybe. Then in 2005, back to Bop It, they actually had Bop It Blast. The Bop It Blast is very fragile and can easily be broken. And not only that, it could die easily. Excuse me, it can die easily. And it has the same 3 commands: Bop It, Twist It, and Pull It. It has Vox Bop, Beat Bop, and you know what, while I'm on the subject, Bop It Extreme 2 had a one-on-one mode. It would be that one side has Twist It and Pull It on the Bop It Extreme 2, and the other side has Spin It and Flick It. Versus on the Blast, one side is Twist It and the other side is Pull It. On the Bop It Extreme 2, it was yellow and green. On the Bop It Blast, it was blue and green. I believe Twist It was silver. I mean, this is one of the times where the Bop It commands were a different color. I don't know what Bop It was, but I hope it's not purple. I mean, I think so, but I don't know. So basically, on one-on-one, you would be able to do the commands as normal. And whenever it says Bop It, whoever bops the Bop It button first, the Bop It speaks. The Bop It session 1, for example. If I and someone else were playing the Bop It Extreme 2, it would say yellow if I were yellow. And if it was the Bop It Blast, it would say blue or green. On Bop It Download, they brought back one-on-one. The same thing, only it's back to yellow. And Light Bop was a new game mode at the time. It would be, if the color matches, if the light matches the command, you do it. If the light doesn't match the command, you're out if you try to do anything. But there's also a thing where you can wait, I don't know. Then there's the Bop It Show, which basically brings back pretty much all the things from all the previous Bop Its. Only now it has a shouted command. You can also call it the Bop It Reboot. And that came out in 2008. Bop It Download came out back in 2006. The Bop It Show came out in 2008. It had a new mode called Party. Not one-on-one. It had a party, where every Bop It command would be called out as a body part. Shoulder, arm, belly, hip, knee, foot. And those are the commands. There's Novice, which is which commands. There's Expert, which there's Vox Bop and Beat Bop, Extend. Then there is Master, which is talks about beat bopping colors. Then in 2009 or 10, they had Bop It Bounce, and that had 6 different games on it. This did not have anything to do with any actions except you had to bounce a ball. I think it was red. But anyway, you had to bounce it on a trampoline. So basically there was max bounce, infinite bounce, hang time, right height, little, middle, big, and freeform. Max bounce is to say how many bounces you can do in 30 seconds. So there's a time limit. And that you have to have a reaction. And there's infinite to see how many bounces you can do. And there's hang time to see how high you can bounce it and see how long you can hold it there, I guess. And there's right height. And you are told higher, lower, until you get to the correct height. Then there's little, middle, big, which will tell you little height, or middle height, or big height. Then there's freeform, and then the toy will just make different sounds at different heights that the ball bounces at. Freeform is not necessary at all. In fact, it's not really a game, I guess. Well, I guess there is a point so that people can mess around. But after that, that's it. Then there's the Bop It XT, which adds the Shake It command, and one-on-one is brought back. But there's a new level of difficulty, and it is Pro. Not only do you have to remember voice commands, sound effects, and colors, you also have to do them. You also have to do 3 different commands per point. For example, it would say, the easy one would be task number 1, which would be bop it, twist it, pull it. Then it would say go. And then you would have to do the first 3 commands. It's almost like doing the original Bop It, but 3 different points at one time. 3 commands at a time. And that's why they call it Pro, and that's the hardest level. And you have to remember 3 commands and do it 100 times. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Then there's the Bop It Smash, which is not really a Bop It per se. I mean, it probably is. But you would have to, listen to a light or something. And look for a light. And smash a green or a blue just to get a certain amount of points. And Bop It Tetris works just like any old Tetris game. Bop It Beats is basically a Bop It game where instead of music, it actually has real songs. And it has Bop It, Spin It, Scratch It, Repeat, Reverse, and Flip It. Then there are different game modes for that. There's different levels for the classic. And then there's Party, Classic Party. Then there's DJ. And then there's DJ Party, and then there's Remix. Then there's the Bop It Refresh, which came out in 2016. That actually had 3 commands: Bop It, Twist It, and Pull It. But then there's other commands like Comb It, Saw It, Drink It, Cradle It, Hammer It, Answer It, Sing It, Golf It, Whip It. Did I say sing it already? If I haven't, then sing it. I mean, selfie it. There's selfie it. A Bop It with selfie it. Wow. It had action, pass it, classic, pass it, and beat bop pass it. So at least they brought back beat bop. Then there's the Bop It Maker, which came out last year. Then actually brought back the Shout It command. So there was Bop It, Shout It, but what are the other 2 commands? There's 4 commands on this one. There's like roll it and squeeze it. Then there's, again, they come out with 2 solo games. One which is solo, and one which is basic or classic or whatever you want to call it. Then there's the party game. And that's basically it, all about Bop It.
Speech on. Stop recording. Camera chooser. Front facing. Camera chooser. Stop recording.